I have always heard rumors about an abandoned old house down the lowly street close to my estate. Many people avoid that house, and most times the whole street, because of stories from the past. But one rainy evening, curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to explore the ghost house. As I stepped inside, the door slammed shut behind me, plunging me into darkness. The air was thick and cold, and every step echoed through the empty halls. I lit my phone's flashlight and wandered deeper, noticing strange symbols carved into the walls. Whispers seemed to follow me, growing louder with every room I entered. But I didn't mind at first. "This is a great tour," I said to myself. Suddenly I saw a shadow dart across the hallway. My heart raced as I realized I wasn't alone. I hurriedly tried to leave, but every door led me back to the same scary room with a cracked mirror. When I finally looked into the mirror, I saw not my own reflection, but a pale, twisted version of myself, staring back, grinning. The whispers turned into screams, and ghostly hands began reaching out from the glass. What have I gotten myself into? Out of fear, I smashed the mirror, but the hands broke free, grabbing me and pulling me into the darkness. The next morning, some passerby found the house empty, except for my phone, still recording, with chilling whispers echoing in the background. I was lying there, cold and stiff, gripped by something I couldn't see, couldn't fight. I couldn't talk, I couldn't move. It felt like my voice had been stolen. My loudest cry was like a whisper in the ear. And then I heard a voice, a woman's voice, close, soft. "Another one," she said. My eyes flickered. Someone was in the room with me, but I couldn't turn my head. I was still, trapped, and not alone.
I couldn't move. I couldn't speak, but I could hear. The woman's voice again, soft but strange. "He's awake," she whispered. I tried to open my mouth, to scream, to ask who she was, but my lips wouldn't move. My chest felt heavy, like something invisible was sitting on it. Then I felt it, cold breath on my ear, like someone was right beside me, watching, breathing, smiling. Footsteps creaked across the floorboards. More than one person. They didn't walk like normal people. Their steps were slow, dragging. I heard whispers, but not like before. These whispers were clearer, and they were saying my name. They knew me. Suddenly, I was yanked upward, my body floating like I had no weight. My phone was still there on the ground, screen cracked, the flashlight flickering. I saw the cracked mirror again, but this time, it was whole. My twisted reflection was still there, grinning, but this time, it waved at me. That was when I saw her, standing by the doorway, dressed in white, her face hidden behind long black hair. She didn't move, just stared at me. "I waited for you," she said softly. "You came, just like the others." My body slammed back to the floor. Pain shot through my side, but I still couldn't move, just my eyes. The woman stepped forward, slowly. Her feet didn't touch the ground. She floated. Then, out of nowhere, the lights flickered, and the walls of the house began to bleed. Yes, bleed. Blood ran down the symbols on the walls like tears. The smell was strong, rotten, heavy. I felt something grab my ankle, dragging me backwards. I was screaming in my mind, but no sound came out. I was pulled into a narrow hallway I hadn't seen before. It was dark, endless, and filled with voices, crying, laughing, whispering. I knew one thing. This house wasn't just haunted, it was alive. and it wanted me to stay. Forever. I don't know how long I was being dragged. My body scraped against the rough floor. I wanted to fight, to kick, to scream, but I couldn't move. Whatever was pulling me wasn't human. I didn't see it, but I felt its grip, cold, tight, and wrong. Then suddenly, everything stopped. Silence, darkness, no breath, no whisper, just the sound of blood rushing in my ears. I blinked. I was lying in front of a wooden staircase, old, broken, leading down into a part of the house I'd never seen. But I had been in this house already. There was no basement. That's when it hit me. This house is changing, rearranging itself, like it's alive. And it wanted me to go down. I don't know why I stood up. My body was shaking, but somehow I moved. The stairs creaked with every step. The air smelled worse, like wet soil and something dead. I covered my nose, but it didn't help. When I reached the bottom, the floor was covered in old photos. Photos of people, men, women, children. Some smiling, some crying, all standing in front of this same house. Then, I saw one photo that made my knees weak. It was me, same clothes I was wearing now. But the picture looked old, faded, like it had been taken years ago. How? That's when I heard breathing again. I turned slowly. She was standing there again. The woman in white, long black hair, pale hands, no eyes, just dark, empty sockets staring right through me. "You're part of the house now," she whispered. "They all are." Suddenly, hands reached out from the shadows, dozens of them, grabbing my arms, my legs, holding me in place. The lights flickered, and behind the woman, a door appeared in the wall. It opened slowly, revealing a deep pit with a stairway made of bones. And voices. So many voices. "Come down," they said. "Come be with us." I screamed inside my head, but my mouth never opened. I didn't want to go in. I swear I didn't. But my feet started moving, slow, heavy steps toward the bone staircase. I tried to stop, but it was like my body wasn't mine anymore. Something had taken over. The woman in white just stood beside the pit, nodding slowly. I could hear the voices in the dark whispering louder now, chanting in a strange, broken language. As I stepped onto the first bone, the stairs groaned beneath my weight, but they didn't break. They led down into thick black smoke. I couldn't see the bottom. Each step was colder, wetter. The air smelled like blood and old fire. Then I saw them. People, not alive. They stood against the walls, frozen, eyes open but lifeless. Some had their mouths wide open, like they were still screaming. Their clothes were from different years, some modern, some old. One man wore a school uniform. A girl had a birthday hat on, and all of them were holding phones, just like mine. I clutched my phone tighter. It was still recording. The battery was low, but the red dot was blinking. That's when I heard a familiar voice. My child. It was my mother's voice, but she's not here. She couldn't be here. I turned fast and saw a figure in the smoke. The shape of my mother. Her back was to me. "Mom," I whispered. She turned. It wasn't her. It had her face, but twisted. Her eyes were black holes. Her mouth stretched wider than it should. She smiled and whispered, "We're waiting for you." I screamed. This time, I actually heard myself. My voice cracked the silence. And for the first time since entering the house, I could move freely. I turned and ran up the stairs, skipping steps, heart slamming in my chest. Behind me, the bones started to crack. The whole staircase was collapsing. I jumped to the top just before it broke apart. But when I looked around, the house was different again. This wasn't the room I came from. It was a long hallway. No windows, no doors, just darkness and laughter. Now I know. The laughter wouldn't stop. It echoed from both sides of the hallway, high-pitched, childlike, but also angry and hungry. I was trapped again. No doors, no light, just my phone's weak flashlight and the red recording dot that was still blinking. Suddenly, the laughter stopped. Silence. Then, footsteps behind me. Slow, careful, getting closer. I didn't want to turn around. I told myself not to, but my body turned anyway, and I saw them. Every ghost I had seen in this house, the twisted version of me, the woman in white, the pale children, the fake version of my mother, they were all there, standing at the other end of the hallway, watching me. No one moved, until the little girl in front whispered, "Tell our story." They were trying to be heard. My hand shook as I raised the phone and said, "This house, it's not abandoned. It's a prison, for souls, for voices, for stories that were never told." A loud groan filled the air, like the house itself was angry. The hallway began to shake, walls cracked, the floor split open. But I kept talking, even as dust and screams filled the air. I shouted, "I see you, I hear you, you are not forgotten." Then everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I was outside, lying on the wet ground in front of the house. It was morning, light, quiet. My phone was beside me, still recording. I sat up, shaking, broken, but free. The house stood behind me, silent, like it was sleeping again. But I knew the truth now. It won't stay quiet for long. The end.